Hey everyone, it's Demo Donna here, and this is the demonstration for the Floral Cross Slider card. So in the kit that you received, you have everything here times 2. So I've gone ahead and separated what I need to make one of my cards. Also, on a side note, this kit was sold out, so I don't have a link to this kit. But it's going to be really fun to see the dimensions and how to put this together, so you can recreate this with some of your really fun paper stash at home. So to get started, we are going to go ahead and take our A2 card base. So this is just half of your 8.5 by 11, scored in half, and I'm going to grab my glue, and I am going to go ahead and glue the solid ivory cardstock to the front of my card base. There we go. And this is cut a 1/4 inch smaller. So this card base here is 5 1/4 by 4. So that is the ivory layer that I just added on. So you've got about an 1/8 inch frame around your card base. Then I'm going to open it up, and we are going to adhere the 2 ivory decorative pieces of paper. Kind of look like bathroom wallpaper from like 10 years ago. So these guys are going to go on the inside, and you have 2 of them per card. And these are also cut down to be 5 1/4 by 4. So again, you are going to be centering those with about an 1/8 of an inch frame around your decorative paper. So there is my first one. And my second one. And just layer that in there. And there we go. Next, you are going to take your 2 little black pieces here, and the dimensions for these are 5 by 2.5, and then just fold it in half. And you have 2 of these per card. So I'm going to go ahead and open those up, and I'm going to take my pink squares. You're going to be using 2 different design papers per black sheet here. And these pink squares are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this fun pattern and add it to one side. And again, these are cut a little smaller, so you're going to be framing that with about an 1/8 of an inch. And then repeat that. Add your adhesive. And then we are going to do the same thing with this one. And just with this second one with the stripes going down, you just want to make sure you position them the same orientation. So for instance, these have the stripes going up and down versus side to side, and I did that the same with both of them. All right, now that I've completed that, I'm going to set those aside, and we are going to do the front of our design. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my larger die here, and I will show you what Pink and Main dies I am using for this. So I'm going to layer that pink on first, and that frames in there perfectly, where you just have these cute little edges sticking out of that ivory. And that die is the oblong stitched octagon dies, and I'm using the largest and the second largest, and I'm using the smallest one for my label on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to take my second one with this beautiful floral paper, and I'm going to place that how this side the flower is going to be seen. So you can just arrange the orientation because you're going to be covering up this half with your leaf here. So I'm now going to take my big beautiful leaf, and I'm going to show you what that is from as well. That is from the Leafy Set 3 dies. And this is a really great die. I've used this in a couple of my classes now. So if you don't have it, I would definitely check it out. And last but not least, I'm using the wreath-based dies, the Hello. But obviously you could swap out a different greeting if you want a thanks or a happy birthday stamp. Have fun, switch it up. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of my wet adhesive to my beautiful leaf die. Layer that on there. And I'm going to go ahead and take my 2 other leaf dies, and I am going to, I'll do the same. I am going to go like this, and I'm going to add my larger one with the 4 leaves on it for this cute little sprig, and I'm going to place that down there. So again, you can add fun little stamp sayings in here or other dies or incorporate some additional floral dies. Lots of fun to go crazy, do something different. Okay, so now I've got all of my leaves attached. I am going to take my little banner die here. I'm going to add my hello. Then we are going to add some foam, some sticky foam to pop that up a little bit. Place my little hello on there. Grab my foam roll. Trim a little piece off. And I'm just going to center that. I am leaving a little space on the side because we're going to be adding our ribbon. You know what? I'm not going to stick this on yet. We're going to do the inside and then finish that up so my card will be nice and flat. Sometimes you change your mind, it happens. But I'm going to set that right up there. Okay, what we are going to do next is I have this pre-scored for you, but I'm first going to show you how to score it so you can recreate this look. So I've got a 5x4 piece of cardstock, and I'm going to take my wonderful, let's get everything out of the way here. Here comes the scoreboard. And this is my Caterpillar crease, which is fabulous. And if you head on over to Caterpillar.com and use code DEMODONNA, all one word, you will get 15% off of your Caterpillar crease. All right, I am scoring it at the 1/2 inch, 2.5 inch, and 4.5 inch. So those are the 3 scores here. Then I'm going to take the edge of my scoreboard and I am going to be scoring not from end to end, but from score to score. So I'm going to use my finger tool, hold one side in place, and then line up the other end. And I'm going to take my stylus here and go score to score, and then do the same thing. Hold it in place up there, bring in the other end, and go score to score. And that is how you get your mechanism to create that fun fold in the center. Put my Caterpillar crease away. Now we are going to trim and trim, trim and trim. So basically you just trimmed the corners off of these flaps that we're folding. And we are going to fold we're gonna go this way. Because we're folding all different ways, it doesn't really matter with your, whoop, flick it across the room, your valleys and mountains. So you're gonna fold those back first, then you're gonna fold it in half. So now I have this right here. So these little tabs were folded away from you, then you're folding it in half. Once you've completed that, you're gonna fold your diagonals. So the first one, there we go. And then the second one. There we go. And now you have did I do this wrong? I did do it wrong. Okay. Okay, so you are gonna snip, oh my goodness. You are gonna snip your 4 corners. There we go. Then we are gonna fold those down. You're gonna center it and fold that in half. There we go. Then you are gonna take your diagonals and you are gonna fold those away from you. So there's my first one. There is my second one. And obviously you can score it and you end up with this little cute little frog mouth. Boop, boop, boop. All right, so just to show you guys again, fold these flaps away from you, fold it in half towards you, and then your diagonals get folded away from you and away from you. All right, now I'm gonna set that aside and we are gonna grab our lovely card here. And we are gonna center it. So I'm just eyeballing it, making sure my folds are lining up. Put your little flaps out, and then I am adding glue to one side at a time. So again, make sure my folds lined up. Then I'm gonna take that, bring it in. And press that down. And yes, I did get a little glue on my fingers, but I'm gonna be okay. Okay, now we're gonna do the same thing. Add your glue. Tuck that in, press that down. There we go. And that is what you want to see. And my glue's still a little wet, so I don't want to put too much pressure on it yet. Next, we're going to take our triangles, and these are going on the left and the right. So I am going to add my first triangle here. And what I did to create these triangles is I cut out a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 square. I cut that diagonally, and then I cut those triangles in half. There we go. And now I have my triangles in place. Next, what we're gonna do is grab our fun little squares here. I'm gonna fold that in half. I'm gonna add adhesive to one triangle up here. There we go. I've got this folded in half. I am gonna line that up. I'm leaving, I could still see the little point here. I'm leaving just a little bit of space, like 1/8 of an inch between my two squares. So I'm gonna put that down. Then I'm gonna repeat on the bottom here. Again, just making sure I have a little space and it's even. It's always the tricky part. Okay, and then we are going to add our glue to these triangles. Fold that over. While that is drying, we are gonna finish up our hello. You have, those of you that purchased the kit, have some of this beautiful lace trim. I completely sold out of those, but you're gonna cut that in half and going with the same angle cut, and then simply fold it in half, and you're going to glue it right into your card on the side here. And then if you have the ribbon, you're gonna do the same thing. Cut it in half using the same diagonal and glue it into the card there. So the majority of you have the lace. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take a little piece of my Easy Tear tape and I am going to stick it in the center for when I fold this over to create this fun little fishtail. And then I'm gonna add my glue on the top and on the bottom and stick that piece in there. Squish that down. There we go. And now let's check in on our fold. So right now you have this. What you're gonna do is take your little fingernail tool, or you can use your pickup tool, and you're just gonna kind of pop those open like so. And now you have your fun fold. And I did them upside down. I should have done them opposite like I did here, but it doesn't really matter. I have two on one side and two on the other. The design is catty corner, but you know what? You would have gotten this in the live class. Instead, you got it on the demo, and we're sticking with it. We can make mistakes work. There we go. All right, so last but not least, you are gonna take your, where did I put my little guys? They're all the way over here. You have these really fun, there we go, really fun design elements. And I'm gonna add two on the bottom and one up here. And these are pretty big, like they're not just tiny little guys. So I would definitely add a good amount of glue to adhere it, not just a tiny little dot. And there you go, you guys. That is your floral cross slide card. And it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much again for your continued support and purchasing my classes. Again, if you want to use any of the products from Pink and Main that I use, you can head on over to Pink and Main. When you check out, use code DEMODONNA, all one word, and you will get a free gift. And you can use that over and over again. So every time you make a Pink and Main purchase, make sure you use code DEMODONNA. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I look forward to teaching you our next class. Bye-bye.